Hey everybody, today we're going to talk about the Deadlock Hotfix Balance patch that just came out. In particular, we're going to talk about a character who got nerfed into the ground, who wasn't even overpowered, and I think that's a good thing, as per probably what I'm going to title this video. But I'm going to go over the other three characters first before that. But the reason I'm talking about these patches and the reasons I'm liking talking about these patches is this is the first time in a long time I've seen balance patches by developers that have not made me hate my life to read through them. These balance patches actually seem to be fundamentally well designed. I actually like what the developers are doing here, and although I might disagree with like 10 to 20% of it, that's a far shot from me disagreeing with like 70 to 80% of the balance decisions. In particular, the direction at which they're balancing the game seems to be very good, and I very much think that they're going I definitely think they're going with a good direction for the game. So let's talk about these changes from top to bottom. First off, Infernus. Flame Dash now has a 30% slow resist. Now, Flame Dash, I think it was just yesterday or 2 days ago, got a bit of a balance readjustment. So Infernus is supposed to run in and, you know, he's supposed to put a bomb on himself. Then he's supposed to run in. He's supposed to coat people in oil and blow people up and stun people. Blah, 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 blah. It's supposed to be funny, right? The problem is, his Flame Dash originally was completely immune to slows. So that was too good. Getting a huge movement speed buff and immunity to slows was obviously too good. It made the character way too mobile. It made them impossible to counter. They could run up to every single character in the game. There was not really a whole lot you could do about this guy, right? But the problem is, once it lost its slow immunity, it was way too counterable. The character would just instantly get slowed, and considering its whole shtick is supposed to be that you put the bomb on yourself and then you run in and blow people up, he couldn't really do that. There's a lot of slows in this game, a lot. Pretty much every character at some point can get some sort of permanent slow, and not that difficult to obtain. There's also some characters like Kelvin running around with an 80% slow in their kit. So to have a character that weak to slows wasn't really tenable for the character's future. So they gave him a 30% slow resist. Now, Infernus used to be really overpowered. He got reworked. I've played with him all day. He doesn't really feel that bad. I don't see anyone spamming him. Certainly, I think he went from like a top 3 character to like a top 10, maybe 15 character. Probably still in the top 10 at the very least. He's still very good. But Flame Dash losing its slow immunity was a massive hit to the character. Not much else to say than that. I definitely think, despite me having a bone to pick with Infernus, it was definitely a good idea to not just sort of make it like, oh, you bought a range slow, now Infernus can't play the game. Like, that's not a good thing. Okay, Ivy. Airdrop self-cast time reduced from 2 to 1.3. So the developers made a balance change. Ivy can pick up teammates, but when Ivy doesn't pick up teammates, they nerfed her pickup time to 2 seconds. So the pickup time on allies and the pickup time on self was both nerfed to 2 seconds from 1.3. Well, unfortunately, as you can imagine, this ability being a 2-second cast time, this is currently the 1.3 second, but this being a 2-second cast time dramatically reduced its usability. As Ivy's ultimate, this is literally her ultimate effect, having it be so weak that a lot of people weren't even bothering to try to use it because it took so long to cast. Most of the time you just end up dead anyway. That's not a good ultimate. So I definitely think, yes, keep it a longer time on allies, because that means, you know, the enemies have more time to react to that. There's less shenanigans going on. But on self, yeah, it should probably be a bit lower. Now for 7, Spirit's power DPS scaling reduced from 0.8 to 0.7 on his ultimate. Now, I don't know what the developers are doing with 7. I'm going to be real with you. 7 is by far, and it's not even close, the most monstrously overtuned character in the game. Now, his animations are cool. Everybody likes playing him. He's a fun dude. The problem is, despite being a fun dude, he's also just giganormously overpowered. For a 6v6 game, the amount of advantage the team with 7 gets is just completely ludicrous. Now, I do remind everyone this game is an alpha, so like, you know, obviously, you know, some of this model isn't exactly fine-tuned. Some of it is, some of it isn't. but 7 can build spirit, and even while building spirit, you can see he has this thing here. This scales on spirit. He gets 0.2 per power surge for power surge AoEs. He's got a stun. The stun does a 1.1 second stun, then a 2.2 second stun AoE. It's a very strong effect. Honestly, the kit by itself, the 1, the 2, and the 3 are by themselves very, very powerful. This ability does giganormous DPS early in the game. It's very hard to lane against this dude sometimes. He's kind of a lane bully who scales very well into team fights, and it's definitely a problem. 7 is too good right now, and I really wish the developers would spend a little bit more time nerfing him into the ground. Okay, now let's talk about Viscous. Viscous got absolutely obliterated with nerfs, and that's a good thing. Let me explain Viscous here for a second. I talked about this a little bit in my last video, but let's really talk about Viscous. When they reworked Viscous, they gave him or her a new alternative fire. Now, the new alternative fire shoots an orb, and this orb can wreck people from behind cover. Unfortunately, Viscous's Q can also, you might not believe this, hit people behind cover. Viscous's E can also hit people behind cover. So the problem with Viscous is Viscous has 3 different ways to knock people out of cover and basically be kind of a complete lane dominant character. This is obviously not good for a game like Deadlock. Deadlock does not want you to not be able to hide behind cover against any character. It's not good gameplay, it's not good fun. In addition to that, some people were doing some, let's say, shenanigans. Let's see if I can do it right now. I probably can't, but let's see if I can. Let's go extra charge, rapid recharge. Okay. So what some people were doing with this character... Oh, these minions are different. I can live long enough. Once you got really good at them, the bounce on the E was enough that they could actually perma-bounce people. Yeah, I nearly had it there. They could actually perma-bounce people. Oh man, I'm getting close though. I don't know how to do it. I didn't practice it. But at any rate, once you got these items and once you got the charges, the E could perma-bounce people. And this is with the reduced height. I'll go over the changes here for a second. But in addition to ripping people out of cover, it was also possible to rip people out of cover and then air juggle them for enormous damage and potentially kill them from half health when they couldn't even... They could maybe do an air dash once to get out of it, and that was about it. And that's not good either. So let's talk about what they did in nerfs here. Puddle Punch base cast range reduced from 60 meters to 40 meters. So the ability right now is a 40 meter range. You can see the max range right here. That's pretty far, right? So if I'm trying to rip someone out of cover, I can still do it from here to here, right? Like you can see we're perfectly capable. I can even back off a little bit. So I can still rip people out of cover here to here. That used to be 60 meters range. So consider this is 40. Let's add 50% to that. You used to be able to do that from back here. That was difficult to lane against a dude who's sitting back here punching you out of cover from over here. Little bit of a problem for the game's long-term health. Now, I'm not saying Viscous was overpowered, but I'm saying, holy crap, the amount of people I saw get hard mega bullied by Viscous, so unbelievably hard, to where, like, they're literally in voice chat, just like, dude, I don't know what to do. I just give up. I can't lane against this character, right? Like, Viscous doesn't scale, and he wasn't overpowered, but holy crap, I've never seen a character just actually make people, like, not even get mad, just mentally give up on life. Puddle Punch T2 damage reduced from plus 50 to plus 35. So at tier 2, you can see you got plus 1 charge, then plus 35 and a 20% slow. It used to be plus 50 damage. So at plus 50 damage, that would be 15 more damage than it is now. That would make the air juggle combo stronger. And you can see right here, the cooldown was also increased from 24 to 28 seconds cooldown. Because as you can imagine, this ability in combination with this ability in combination with the AoE on the goo gun, this is definitely an idea. This ult fire is new, and the ult fire is definitely something new that they're attempting something. I'm not really sure what it is they're attempting, but it is something. Now, if I go and I look at the character here, you can see that Viscous by default, in fact, I'm gonna have to go back to the menu here because there are some stats here that by default, Viscous actually does. I don't know if these stats are correct anymore. Yeah, okay, the stats are correct now. We can see by default, Viscous does have one of the highest weapon DPSs in the game. So if I look here, who maybe has a higher DPS? Haze? No. Dynamo, he got nerfed. Bebop? No, he's only 66. Abrams, 63. Lash? Nope. Shiv? Nope. No, Viscous, I think, has the highest base DPS in the game. So a character who could poke you forever, while also being one of the faster characters in the game, while also having 3 different ways to rip you out of cover, while also being pretty good in trades. Now, I do understand, and I think we can all agree that yes, like these are projectiles, you do have to hit them, but being massacred by projectiles into being massacred by these projectiles and then into that ability, boy, it was just a little bit rough. Okay. Puddle Punch now knocks people less high into the air. This is obviously to break the air juggle combo, which I've explained was a little bit rough to deal with. Lastly, base clip reduced from 24 to 20. Ult fire now requires 5 bullets. So the ult fire now requires 5 bullets instead of, I think it was 4, and the ammo count was reduced. So you can now do 4 ult fires before you have to reload. This obviously reduces the amount of damage Viscous can do before reload, both with the ult fire and with the left click. It seems they were primarily aiming at the ult fire here. So with 4 shots, so with 4 ammo to do the ult fire at 24, that was 6 shots Viscous could do before reloading. Now it's 4. So Viscous will have to spend more time reloading, which gives you A, more time to maybe react to them, or B, just less pressure coming out from the champion. So here's why I think this is a good thing. Okay, let me talk about this. In a game like this, nobody wants a character who kind of bypasses many of the fundamentals of the game. Okay, if one of the fundamentals of the game is hide behind cover to reduce damage, and some characters have some abilities that can shoot you through cover, right? So some characters like Pocket can shoot you through cover, or maybe McGinnis's ultimate can shoot you through cover, you know, stuff like that. Some abilities can shoot you through cover. So that's a general idea of the game. Hide behind cover to block damage, and then some abilities you'll have to still look out for them. The problem is when you have a character with 3 different ways to rip people out of cover, it gets to be a little bit excessive. Now, personally, I don't think, like, obviously nerfing Viscous into the ground on a hotfix is definitely one way to go about it. And personally, I think that's probably actually a good thing. Why is that a good thing? Because let's be blunt, no one enjoyed playing against this character. It dramatically unimproved, it deproved, it ruined people's gameplay experience. If more developers would be more willing to just sort of be like, okay, this character sucks to play against, we're gonna nerf him into the ground, and we'll figure it out later. Like, we don't know the answer for now, we don't know what we're gonna do for now, okay, but we're gonna figure this out, and later on we'll come back to the character. Maybe we rework their ultimate, maybe we rework their E, maybe we rework their Q. We'll come back to the character and we'll see what we can do to make them more fun. But for now, we're gonna kill them because this ain't fun to fight against. Now look, I understand it's alpha. They probably couldn't do this in a live product. Maybe after people bought cosmetics or things like that, they would be less willing to just hotfix a champion or a hero into the ground. You know, so it being an alpha is definitely a good thing. But at the same time, I do like the boldness to just say, look, we screwed up. This character is just not fun at all. Our bad. Okay, we're just going to kill him. Maybe a week. I don't know. They'll come back. They'll do something about it. So I like that. That's a good thing. What's left in the patch notes? Just some buffs to ropes. I think the ropes are not really that fun, but these 2 changes definitely did make them a bit more interesting. The jump pads, I think, maybe were a bit preferable, but the ropes are definitely one way to go about it as well. Seems a bit of a mixed bag with that one. They used to be, I mean, are there any ropes in the testing? I don't think there are. But There used to be jump pads like this. This has changed to ropes that you climb up. Here we can see a rope. So you hold, sometimes you hold spacebar, sometimes you press it. It seems to be like a 50-50 which one works. I don't know. You can see me struggling with it right here. It's like it doesn't update in time. You know what I mean? Like I saw it there. I pressed it. You can see me pressing it. So sometimes you have to press it and hold it, and sometimes you can just press it. And it's just like in the middle of a fight, this sucks to be going through. I don't know the right way to put it, dude. It says press to hold, but sometimes you don't have to. And sometimes how much you have to hold is, it can be frustrating. Maybe I'll get used to it, and maybe I'm just complaining here. And maybe I'm the only person, but I have seen other people complaining about it being annoying. So it's not just me. It's a bit of annoying. Maybe I'll get used to it. We'll see. Maybe I'm being too complaining. So that's it. That's this hotfix. I definitely agree and like the boldness to just say, this character sucks to fight, kill him. Okay, that's me on this hotfix, on this balance. What do you think? You like the idea? Because I definitely do. Anyway, thank you all. Thank you, everybody. And let me know what you think. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. Bye-bye.